Hi guys, how's everyone doing? What a busy week in the news, right? Don't worry if you missed anything because we're going over it all in this week's episode of Forbes Flash. First and foremost, I want to address the tragic story about the Ethiopian Airlines plane that crashed shortly after takeoff on Sunday in Addis Ababa. The crash killed all 157 on board and triggered a global call to action as countries, one by one, banned the type of plane from their airspaces until further investigation. The model in question was a Boeing 737 MAX 8, the company's best-selling plane. This week's crash was the second of the 737 MAX 8 in recent months, and according to investigators, preliminary reports suggest that there were similarities between both accidents. Boeing, in a statement, says it continues to have full confidence in the safety of the 737 MAX, but has decided to recommend that the FAA temporarily suspend operations of the plane out of an abundance of caution and to reassure the flying public. This is obviously still a developing story, with quite a few things to keep an eye on. How this impacts Boeing's stock being one of them, and another, the cost to the global economy as people around the world rebook their flights on different planes. Another story that's developing as we speak, the college admission scandal that ensnared a few Hollywood celebs and sparked conversations about privilege in higher education. In case you missed it, the U.S. Attorney in the District of Massachusetts charged 50 people, including actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin, CEOs and coaches in federal court as part of a long-running, nationwide $25 million conspiracy to illicitly gain admission for their children to top colleges. It's being touted as the biggest college admissions scandal ever. Here's what happened. Those involved either bribed SAT or ACT exam officials to help students cheat on the test, or bribed coaches to recruit students as athletes when they weren't, in fact, athletes, or, in some cases, both. The schemes were allegedly organized by a man named William Rick Singer, who operated the for-profit counseling and admissions company The Edge College and Career Network and the nonprofit organization The Key World Foundation. As the world learns more details about what happened and what's next, there's still so much more that we don't know. What will happen to the students currently enrolled in the universities that they didn't fairly get into? And what kind of sentences do those charged face? Safe to say we'll be hearing about the scandal for quite a while, in the news now, and I'm sure in a Netflix movie down the road. And now back to the business as usual world, where we're still talking about our annual list of the world's richest people, which, as a reminder, you can learn all about by checking out #ForbesBillionaires on social. Anyways, this week I want to talk about not just who is on the list, but how they got there. The most common way to hit 10-digit status was in finance and investments, probably not surprising to any of you. The next most popular way is by selling stuff. The fashion and retail industry has minted 230 billionaires, like Alice, Jim, and Rob Walton, you know, of Walmart. Another interesting tidbit from this year, some of the newcomers to the billionaires list made their fortunes in unique ways, like James Muncie's and Adam Bowen. They're the co-founders of Juul Labs, the controversial maker of nicotine vaporizers. And we're already looking forward to next year's list, which could see a major drop for Jeff Bezos after his divorce from wife Mackenzie is finalized. Depending on how things settle, she could walk away with $65 billion in Amazon stock, which would land her quite high up on the 2020 list. Last but not least, Facebook is in the news again this week as the company's family of apps experienced major outages on Wednesday, causing frustration for their billions of users worldwide. And so while everybody took to Twitter to complain about Instagram and WhatsApp not working, the New York Times broke the news that, quote, federal prosecutors are conducting a criminal investigation into data deals Facebook struck with some of the world's largest technology companies. Interesting timing to say the least, because this week's outage is believed to be the largest since 2008. What we do know is that it wasn't caused by a DDoS attack, as the company confirmed on Twitter. Facebook has gotten a lot of experience dealing with scandals in the past year. Looks like their PR team can't quite rest yet. I told you it was a big week. Thanks for tuning in to hear about some of the biggest stories here on Forbes Flash. We'll be back next week.